Hello there. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video with me. This is a very unusual video for me. Thinking about this thing most of the night last night and most of the day. I do have a little notes to put together. But last night I spent some time with one of my extended family, and he's going through some really hard and difficult and some emotional problems and just a lot of hard times in his life right now. And I love him. God knows I love him. It's painful to watch him to go through, but I was talking to him last night, and he was telling me about he could see God's signs all the way around him, but he didn't want to listen to God. And that made me think about prayer. Now, I'm a big fan of prayer. I'm going to tell you that right straight up. Pray often, pray daily. I believe a prayer life with my Lord and Savior is absolute foundational. If you don't have a prayer life, or if you've never sat down and prayed, or if it's been a long time, you don't know how. Over these next few minutes, I want to talk to you just about some simple little things. And I'm gonna make you a promise right now. One, you're not gonna get rich. You're not gonna win the lottery tomorrow. All your problems aren't gonna be over tomorrow. But if you give God 10 minutes a day of prayer time, your life will be changed. Those changes might seem kind of small in the beginning. You might not even notice them. But in 30 days, 60 days, 180 days, you're going to notice a difference. People will notice a difference in your life. So what is it about prayer? Well, prayer is nothing special. Okay? Prayer is you talking to God. And when we say God, let's back up for just a second. Let's establish some authority here. God is the owner and creator of all things. Okay? The owner and creator of all things. He knows exactly who I am. He knows how many hairs I have on my head, how many hairs are going to fall out today. He knows everything about this trees that I'm setting around out there. My puppy dogs are out here in the woods with me. He knows everything. This is the owner and creator of all things. So there's nothing hidden from God. Okay? But some basic rules how to pray. First, you need to establish some basic ground rules with yourself. What do I mean by those ground rules? I mean, have a dedicated time every single day that you're going to pray. Myself, I'm what I refer to as a continual prayer. But when I first wake up, first thing of the morning, I go somewhere alone by myself, private, and I go to the Lord in prayer. Every night before I go to bed, I go back to the Lord in prayer. But again, it's very important that you sit there and have a dedicated time. If it's going to be as soon as you wake up in the morning, so be it. Every time you wake up in the morning, before you do anything else, before you go get coffee, before you get juice, anything like that, you go to the Lord in prayer. You put God priority in your life, and things will change. Next thing, no distractions. Okay, that means you don't take your cell phone in there with you to pray. You don't take a book. You don't have the TV on. You're not listening to the radio. You're not driving down the road. It's you one-on-one prayer time with God. Okay, one-on-one prayer time with God. No distractions. So that's the basic ground rules. Okay. So how do you talk to God? Well, first thing, just be yourself. you hear me talking, you know that I got a lot of mannerisms that are, distracting to a lot of people. That's fine. They're not distracting to God. Talk to God like you're talking to your best friend, because He knows everything about you. There may be things you don't want to share with God, but God knows your heart. God knows what you're thinking. He knows where you was at yesterday. He knows where you're going to be at tomorrow. There's nothing you can hide from Him. So talk to God like you're talking to your best friend. Okay? When you talk to God, ask for God's guidance. Okay? Don't tell God your desires. Ask God for His guidance. Okay? Sometimes we get blinded. I may want things in life here that I don't need. I may want to win the lottery. I may, my car might break down, and I go to the Lord in prayer and say, Lord, give me a new Cadillac. When in fact, I don't need a Cadillac. I need transportation to get from where I am now to the next place the Lord needs me to be at. I don't need to get there in a Cadillac, maybe a bicycle. So I need to keep that in perspective. Ask God for guidance, not for what you desire. Ask God for strength. Not only physical strength, emotional strength, but just strength to get through the day. All you need to survive in life is for your needs to be met. Your needs could be shelter, food, water. That's what you need. Everything else is gravy. But ask God for strength and for Him to meet your needs, and your needs will be met, and you will find strength in the Lord. I promise it. Okay. Thank God for the blessings that you do have. I think of my friend from last night. He's got a lot of things to be upset about, but there's also a lot of things he can still be thankful for. He don't look like he's missed too many meals. He still has a place to stay. He's got people that really care about him and love him. His heart's beating. He's breathing air. He has a job. I mean, these are things to be thankful for. We get so many blessings in our life that we don't even see and recognize. So there's tons of blessings we have in our lives. Sometimes we tend to focus on the negatives, things we don't have, the I want. You get away from those I wants. Think about what you need. God will provide that. Okay. Also, when you pray, ask God to use you. I mean, you're asking God for guidance, but we're also servants of God. In my difficulties, in my trials, and I have a lot of trials and difficulties in life. I've it's not all roses. Okay, and in my life, there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of difficulties. But still, through my pains and difficulties, I can help others. I can be of service and be a benefit to others. Matter of fact, my trials and the pain that I go through can help other people. So ask God to use you. And then, while you're talking to God, we're all sinners. We're all sinners. There's things we do in our lives that we fail daily. Ask God to forgive you of your sins and your shortcomings, and He will. Then after you pray, here's the hard thing. when you pray, and like I said, you need to pray daily. But after you pray, you need to look and listen, because God will answer your prayers. They might not be immediate. I might not say, Lord, I don't know where my food's coming from tomorrow. I may not, know if I'm going to be able to have a ride to go to work tomorrow. Whatever the case may be. I may not have that answer in 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or even all night long. Tomorrow morning I start, let's say I need a ride to work. I just can't sit back and go, well, Lord will provide, and me not worry about it. I mean, I can, but whenever it comes time to get ready to go to work, I stand up, I walk out the door, and worst case, I got to walk to work. I start walking down the road, somebody I don't even know pulls over and picks me up. That's God providing. Okay, that's God placing it upon somebody else's heart to help you. God will answer your problems, and God will meet your needs. I promise it. There's been a lot of times in my life when I've ran away from God, and those are the most miserable times in my life. It's the times that I walk with God, and that I'm in a relationship with God. I'm in my Bible. I'm reading. I'm asking God how He wants to use me. Confessing my sins and asking for forgiveness. Those are the good times. And I can't explain it. I can't show it to you on paper. But all I can tell you is the feeling that I have inside my heart and inside my mind, that I can feel God's presence. I know that God is answering my prayers and meeting my needs. I know that. Like I said, I can't explain it, but if you start daily praying to God, and just be yourself, be honest. When I first started praying, I would cry every single time. And you know what? There's times when I still do cry. A lot of times I still do cry, whether or not I'm crying because of joy, pain, and I see other people going through. I pray for the other people. Sometimes I pray for myself, and I know what kind of a sinner and just terrible person I was. I'll start crying. Those tears aren't anything to be ashamed of. That's tears between you and God. So if you want to change your life, I ask you give God 10 minutes a day, and He'll change your life. I promise you that. God bless you, and my email is going to be in the description below. If you need me to pray for you, you need me to try to help you in any way I can, don't hesitate to send me an email. God bless you. Thank you.